In the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a man named Duck, who is a wildlife photographer and also works for a survival show called Man vs. Wild. In the show, Duck goes alone into the jungle and teaches how to survive there. 2 parts of the show have already been released. People like the show, but there are many issues because of which big TV channels have not bought it. They are now planning to shoot the 3rd part, and if no channel buys it, Duck and his team could go bankrupt. Duck and his team are going through a very difficult time. That is why they decide to travel to the forests of northern Canada, where survival is extremely difficult. Duck leaves his house at night. His daughter records a video message for him so that he can watch it in the jungle and feel less alone. Soon, Duck's team arrives there with military support. After that, they go to meet their tour guide because the area is very dangerous and entering it without guidance could be risky. There, they meet Duncan, who is their tour guide and lives in that region. Duncan takes Duck and his team into the jungle by boat. Duck will have to spend 5 days alone there, after which his team will return to pick him up. He is given a satellite phone so that he can contact his team immediately if any problem occurs. During these 5 days, Duck must record his survival footage as they move forward. Heavy rain suddenly begins. Duncan explains that if Duck wants to survive here, he must be ready to face such conditions. After that, they leave Duck at the edge of the forest and head back. Once they leave, Duck turns on his camera and begins the show. He opens his bag and checks all his belongings. His plan is to survive in the jungle for 5 days using only the items in his bag. He now needs to arrange a place to sleep. So, he moves to a higher location where he decides to build a shelter. He must complete everything before sunset. He collects wood from a fallen tree and begins building the shelter. While working, a small piece of wood gets stuck under his nail, causing him intense pain. However, he removes it and continues his work. Soon, the shelter is fully prepared and night is about to fall. Now, he needs to arrange a fire to stay safe from wild animals. He uses an energy drink can to start a fire. He rubs the metal part and tries to create sparks. After working for half an hour, he places it in a way that sunlight reflects onto the wood. His plan works and the fire finally ignites. After some time, night falls. Duck calls his friends using the satellite phone and they are happily enjoying a party. Duck feels a little sad realizing that his situation is getting worse, while his friends are enjoying themselves. Still, he accepts that no one is there to help him and reminds himself that this is his job. Somehow, he falls asleep beside the fire due to its warmth. In the middle of the night, a loud explosion suddenly occurs, waking him up. He feels the shock but ignores it and goes back to sleep, thinking it might be an earthquake. The next morning, when he wakes up, he notices that something has crashed into the river, tearing through the forest and shaking the ground. Duck quickly runs toward that location. When he arrives, he sees that all the fish in the water are dead, which suggests that something poisonous has contaminated the river. However, this situation also benefits him because he now has fish to eat and useful content to record. Suddenly, Duck notices a wolf approaching the riverbank. The wolf looks at the fish but refuses to eat them and runs away in fear. Duck realizes that the wolf must have sensed something dangerous that he cannot detect. He understands that eating the fish is not safe, so he decides to find another way to get food. He also wants to inform his team about the situation as he does not know what exactly has happened to the river. He tries to call them, but the satellite phone is not working. This makes Duck believe that a meteor might have fallen during the night, which also disrupted the network. The main problem now is that Duck has been hungry since the previous night, so he needs to hunt. He goes to another location and sets up 3 traps to catch animals. Meanwhile, he He also records footage of his surroundings. In the evening, he returns to check the traps. 2 of the traps have successfully caught rabbits. However, while picking them up, one of his cameras suddenly falls on its own. Duck thinks it might be the same wolf, so he quickly grabs his camera and leaves the area. Now he needs to prepare the rabbits for eating. He moves a little away from his camp and starts cleaning them so that predators stay away from his main shelter. He also records everything for his audience. After finishing this work, he again tries to contact his team, but the satellite phone still does not work. Then he checks his personal phone, which was given to him by his daughter, but there is no signal on it either. Duck watches a video message from his wife on the phone, which gives him strength and motivation. Suddenly, he hears strange sounds coming from the forest again. It feels as if someone is watching him from the shadows. Duck becomes worried that a group of wolves might attack him. Because of this fear, he quickly eats his food so that he can move on if necessary. He cannot carry the second rabbit with him, so he explains a method to preserve food. He ties the remaining meat with a rope and hangs it from a tree so that animals cannot reach it. After some time, night falls again. Duck returns to his camp and starts playing chess alone. Soon, he begins to hear those strange sounds once more. He looks around carefully, but does not see anyone. Once again, Duck ignores the sounds. Meanwhile, someone secretly takes away his food. This means it is not an animal because animals do not have that level of intelligence. After a short while, it starts raining. Duck pretends as if his shelter is protecting him from the rain. However, the shelter is useless and he gets completely soaked. Soon, Duck hears the sound of some animal. Hearing it, he becomes scared and his fear keeps increasing. Because of this, he is unable to sleep the entire night. The next morning, his whole body is in pain. He feels exhausted due to lack of sleep. In his mind, he wants to give up everything and leave. But Duck knows that if he quits, he will not be able to support his family. This show is very important for him. So, he ignores his pain and starts working again for himself and his family. He picks up his camera and goes to get his breakfast. However, he finds that someone has already stolen it. Seeing this, Duck becomes scared because he knows no animal could do such a thing. He quickly picks up the satellite phone and tries to call his friends, but the phone is still not working. Gathering courage, Duck sets up his traps again. When he goes to check them later, he is shocked to see that someone has already taken the prey from his traps. He notices a strange black liquid under one of the traps, and it appears to be glowing. Seeing this, he is completely stunned. Duck quickly returns to his camp, but now even his satellite phone is missing. What surprises him even more is that someone has made a move in the chess game he was playing. After seeing all this, Duck becomes certain that he is not alone in the forest. He thinks that it might be one of his obsessed fans. This thought gives him a little relief. He turns on his camera again because he needs content for the show. Before going to sleep, he makes his next move in the chess game. The next morning, he leaves that place and moves forward as he needs to set up a new camp. After walking for some distance, he finds a hill and builds another shelter there. He also lights a fire at this new location. Now he needs food, so he decides to catch fish. However, he does not find a single fish in the water. Because of this, he starts searching the forest for animals. As he moves further, he is shocked to discover a shelter similar to his own. There is also a fire started using the same can method that Duck had shown in his video. Duck becomes suspicious that one of his fans is behind all of this. Then he notices a satellite phone there. Seeing it makes him even more afraid. Soon, he sees the dead bodies of a rabbit and a wolf lying nearby. The wolf has been killed in the exact same way Duck had demonstrated in his video. Terrified, Duck quickly hides under a rock. After a moment, he notices a large trap nearby, similar to the one he had shown in his video. The trap is much bigger than his own. Realizing the danger, Duck manages to escape just in time. He runs back toward his camp as fast as he can. After returning, Duck's eyes fall on his chessboard again. Once more, someone has made the next move. This move is so advanced that even Duck could not have made it himself. With no other option, he decides to stay at the camp. He sets up 3 cameras around the area so that if anyone comes, it will be recorded. However, as soon as he falls asleep, someone knocks all 3 cameras down. When Duck sees this in the morning, he becomes terrified because he realizes he is not safe at all. So far, nothing has harmed him, but that could change at any moment. Duck understands that he must escape from this place as soon as possible. Whatever is out there is watching his every move. Once again, Duck records some footage for his show. Suddenly, a powerful wave hits him and throws him far into the river. He somehow manages to reach the shore. His eyes, nose, and ears start bleeding because the force of the wave was extremely strong. Duck squeezes the water out of his clothes, puts them back on, and starts running. He just wants to escape from there. While running, Duck suddenly falls into a deep pit. He is about to lose consciousness, but before that, he looks up. He clearly sees that someone is watching him from above. After some time, when he regains consciousness, his condition is very bad. His hand is injured, so he tears his shirt and ties it around the wound. Then he struggles to climb out of the pit. After getting out, he reaches the place where his team was staying. He sees their camp, but no one is there. While looking around, he spots Teddy. Teddy is hanging from a tree in the same way. Duck had hung a rabbit in his video. Duck quickly brings him down and he is still alive. Duck also needs help, so he rushes inside the camp and tries to use the radio. However, the radio is also not working. When Duck comes back outside with a medical kit, he suddenly encounters an alien. It becomes clear that the creature crashed into the forest during the night. At first, the alien had been observing and learning human behavior. That is why it did not kill Duck earlier. Nearby, Duck sees the bodies of his team members, and their skin has been removed. The sight is horrifying. The alien attacks again, releasing a web-like substance from its mouth. Duck narrowly escapes and runs away. He quickly makes a plan. He runs toward the same pit where he had fallen earlier, leading the alien behind him. The alien gets caught in its own web and falls into the pit. As soon as it falls, Duck throws many stones into the pit, burying the creature underneath. Duck assumes that the alien is dead. He quickly runs back to save Teddy, but sadly Teddy has already died. Duck covers the bodies of all his companions. Then he sits by the river and records a final message for his family. He believes that no one will come to rescue him and that he may not survive. At that moment, Duck watches his daughter's message again. It gives him the courage to keep going. He decides that he must escape from this place at any cost. After this, Duck first bandages his wounds. Then he looks at a map inside the camp, which shows that Duncan's house is 6 kilometers away. Without losing courage, Duck starts moving forward. By night, he finally reaches Duncan's house. The house is empty, but the television is still on. A news broadcast is playing, revealing something shocking. It turns out that the alien did not just land in that forest. Millions of similar aliens have arrived on Earth. By now, many major cities around the world have already been destroyed. Far from home and hearing this news, Duck is devastated. He fears that his family may not have survived. Even then, he does not lose hope. He is determined to find and save his family. He gathers essential supplies and prepares to leave using Duncan's boat. At that moment, Duncan suddenly appears with a gun. Duncan demands that Duck leave the boat behind. However, Duck refuses because he needs to reach his family. Before Duncan can act, the same alien appears from behind and kills him. This reveals that the creature is still alive. After killing Duncan, the alien turns toward Duck, but this time, Duck fights back. Using the boat's propeller, he attacks the alien and tears it into pieces. In this way, the alien is finally defeated. Afterward, Duck looks up at the sky. He sees thousands of aliens descending toward Earth. With this, the story comes to an end. What will happen next and how Duck will find his family will be revealed in the Filled in the Fuzz next part, which has not been released yet.